All right, listen up, because what I'm about to say is not just another hype segment. This is a legit message sent across the entire National Football League. The San Francisco 49ers just made a statement, not in words, not in some press release. On the field, with actions, with presence, with purpose, the vibe is different this year. And if you're not paying attention yet, you need to lock in. Because something special is cooking in the Bay Area. Let me start by saying this loud and clear. This year is different. These players are locked in on another level. We've seen off seasons where guys are holding out, working their own timelines, waiting for contracts to get done. We've seen the drama. But not this time. This team walked into training camp with a look in their eyes, from OTA letters through day one of camp. They're showing up like it's the middle of a playoff run. If you've watched this team for the last few seasons, you can feel the shift. It's unmistakable. Now let's talk specifics. Day one of training camp, and you've got Christian McCaffrey out there, Trent Williams out there. These are veterans, legends, guys who could easily say, hey, I'll ramp up in a week or two, take it slow, save my legs. But nah, they're out on the field, pads on or not, helmets on, setting the tone. That's not just leadership, that's sending a message, and when your core is that committed, the rest of the roster follows that energy. That's how you build a team ready to fight for a title, but it's not just the stars. One of the biggest surprises, and for me, one of the most telling moments, was seeing wide receiver Jauan Jennings out there. Think about it, he's in a contract year, still hasn't locked in a new deal, yet he's showing up, suiting up, and working like it's week 8. That's rare. Because let's be real, most agents would tell a player in his position, hold out, protect yourself. Don't risk injury until you've got guaranteed money on paper. But Jauan, he's not playing that game. He's here. He's all in. And that says something powerful about where his head's at and what this locker room is made of. He was dancing at practice, smiling, running routes, catching passes, looking like a guy who isn't stressed about contracts or negotiations. Just loving football and trusting that the rest will come. And yeah, maybe behind closed doors the team has told him, hey, we're working on it, it's coming. But honestly, even if that's not the case, he's betting on himself. He's betting on the chemistry, on the culture, on what this organization is building. And the play of the day, one of them came straight from Jennings. A tough in-breaking route, contested at the catch point. And he just snatches it out of the air with those long arms and strong hands. That's who he is. That's who he's been. And if this is a contract year for him, I'm telling you, he's gonna earn every dollar, and then some. Let's not forget, last year, when Brandon Ayuk dapped up Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. During negotiations, everyone thought a deal was hours away. Didn't happen like that. So just because a guy shows up and is vibing doesn't mean a contract is guaranteed. But what it does mean is that the player is here for the right reasons. He's not just playing football. He wants to be a 49er. That matters. And then you add in everything else that's going on at this camp. It's wild. Jennings leading the wide receiver group, being vocal, being that guy in the huddle, doing the breakdowns. That's leadership. That's culture. That's the kind of stuff that doesn't show up in stat sheets, but wins games in December. Now, before I keep going, let me say this. Yes, it's only training camp. Yes, it's early. Yes, there are no pads yet. But this kind of energy, this kind of buy-in, it doesn't come around often. This isn't just a group of talented individuals. This is a team. And we're not even done. We're just getting started. Because it's not just the veterans showing up. The rookies, the young guns, they're out there too. And some of them are already catching eyes. Let's talk Ricky Pearsall, the rookie wideout who, just a few days ago, was on the physically unable to perform list. Already out there moving like he's been waiting for this moment his whole life. Not just jogging around, he's hitting max speed, and we know that because the GPS data backs it up. That's the level of preparation he came in with. The staff is being careful with him, of course, making sure conditioning is locked in before he fully integrates, but the signs are promising. Shanahan said himself, he'd be surprised if Pearsall isn't on the field by Sunday. That's how good he's looking behind the scenes. And then there's Alfred Collins. This man is a physical freak. You don't even have to see him in pads to understand the size, the movement, the presence. You can't teach that. He's finally stepping onto the field after missing off-season work. And while he might not be taking full team reps yet, he's there. He's getting acclimated, and this coaching staff knows what they have in him. Rob Loader even mentioned the Niners might end up relying on him more than any other defensive rookie. That's a lot of pressure, but if he stays healthy, if He keeps progressing. He's going to be a problem for opposing offenses, and I'm telling you, this defensive line is scary. You've got Nick Bosa doing Nick Bosa things. You've got Mike Williams shadowing him, learning every move, step by step, literally following him after every rep. That's mentorship in real time, and Kyle Shanahan spoke about that, about how much Bosa takes his leadership role seriously. He's not the most vocal guy publicly, but inside that building, when he speaks, people listen, and when he leads, the others follow. That's what you want from your stars. Kyle even mentioned in his press conference that there could be as many as 6 starting defensive players this year who are rookies or new contributors. That's a massive opportunity. That means guys who are hungry, guys who have something to prove, could legitimately earn a starting role, nickel corner, safety, linebacker. The doors are open. And that internal competition is only going to elevate the standard for everyone. We're only one day into camp and already the vibe is different. There's less drama, more unity, less me, more we. Think about recent years. We've seen big names sit out. We've seen contract negotiations spill into the headlines. We've seen tension. But this time around, it feels like everybody showed up ready to work, ready to earn, ready to go. And don't get it twisted. This roster isn't perfect. We're still dealing with injuries. Dre Greenlaw isn't here, and yeah, that stings, especially if you're like me and you've been watching him grow year after year. I'm happy for him if he ends up having a strong season elsewhere, especially with the Broncos. My wife's whole family are Broncos fans, so I get it, but as a Niners fan, that's a tough one to swallow. Still, even with some big names absent, the core of this team is more together than I've seen in a long time. From OTA letters through this first day of training camp, there's been one consistent theme: presence, accountability, brotherhood. You feel it in the way they practice, the way they talk to each other, the way they show up. We've still got 17 days until the first preseason game against Denver. And yeah, preseason is preseason, but those reps matter. They shape the bottom of the roster. They give guys a chance to break through. And every time I look at someone like Jawin Jennings showing up like this, in shape, focused, energetic, it tells me this team isn't just trying to make a run. They believe they can win it all. And hey, speaking of guys stepping up, let's give a quick shout to Jordan James and Jordan Watkins, to rookies who, even without pads, are already turning heads. You look at them and it's like, yeah, they belong. They've got that look, that confidence, that readiness. And with Jacob Cowing unfortunately dealing with a hamstring injury, that door just opened a little wider. Next man up, and Watkins might be that guy. All right, I'll pause here for now. We've still got more to cover, including special teams battles, some updates on injuries, and how the rest of the depth chart is shaking out. But man, I gotta say, I haven't felt this kind of buzz around the 49ers in a while. It's not just about talent, it's about energy, attitude, and alignment. This team looks locked in, and I am here for it. Now, while the energy has been mostly electric in Santa Clara, we've got to keep it real and talk about one of the few sour notes of the day: Jacob Cowing. Man, this one hurts, because everything we heard coming out of OTA letters and the offseason program painted a picture of a young receiver who was doing everything right, putting in the work, standing out in drills, impressing coaches, catching eyes. The kind of rise you love to see from a second-year guy looking to carve out a role. And then, boom, first day of training camp, he pulls up. And the early signs are it could be a hamstring issue. No contact, no collision. Just one of those things. A soft tissue injury that can be tricky and unpredictable. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to For Niners Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what could be a stunning twist for the San Francisco 49ers, whispers are emerging from team insiders that star defensive end Nick Bosa may be ready to part ways with one of the franchise's biggest offensive names, running back Christian McCaffrey. According to reports swirling behind the scenes, Bosa has allegedly stated he no longer wants to share the field with McCaffrey, fueling rumors of growing tension inside the Niners locker room. Though nothing has been officially confirmed by the team, sources close to the situation suggest that Bosa made his feelings known during off-season workouts, with some players caught off guard by the apparent fallout. The exact nature of the discord remains unclear, but speculation ranges from conflicting leadership styles to off-the-field disagreements. What is certain, however, Is that such a sentiment from one of the NFL's premier defenders is bound to send shockwaves through the organization. MCCAFFREY, who joined the 49ers in 2022 and quickly became a key figure in the offense, has been widely praised for his work ethic and professionalism. BOSA, on the other hand, is known for his intensity and straightforward approach traits that have earned him both respect and, at times, scrutiny. The idea that these two cornerstone players could be at odds raises serious questions about the team's chemistry heading into the new season. For now, the 49ers front office remains tight-lipped, but it's hard to ignore the growing noise. Could this be the beginning of a larger internal fracture? Or just the kind of passionate disagreement that fuels elite competition? Either way, the buzz is real, and the Bay Area will be watching closely. After all, where there's smoke, there's usually fire. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.